Still significant flooding on the Hastings, Manning and Macleay. We've got a lot of warning products out for areas there. As you mentioned, 50,000 people are isolated at the moment. As well as that, we've got 9,000 residents covered by those evacuation advice warnings that are there. So still going to be a busy day. As you mentioned, we've seen some drop off in these river heights. However, we are concerned that they may re-rise again with this further rainfall landing into the hinterland and the ranges area. That will top off these already saturated catchments. So we're expecting another busy day. 2,200 SES volunteers will be on the ground today, as well as several hundred members from other partner agencies. So we're just going to start getting through this backlog of jobs, and our real focus for us at the moment will be resupply to those isolated communities.
Over the course of this incident, how many rescues have you had to perform?
678 as of this morning. There will be more. People still are driving into floodwaters, which is really concerning, incredibly dangerous. We've seen a top off in the amount of people we're rescuing from those evacuation areas that have stayed. That's really good that the community is heeding those warnings. But it's still really dangerous out there. As you said, the systems move south, and we're now going to see consistent heavy falls across a large swathe of the state. So as well as the mid-north coast where this flood emergency is occurring, we'll have a focus also on the Hawkesbury to Pean catchment and further south around Camden and down to Goulburn probably today as that rainfall falls.
Just staying in the north with the flooding for a second longer, tragic news yesterday of 3 people dying, a man from Nimboida missing. Have you got any updates on his situation?
No, I don't have any updates on that gentleman who's missing. With those other 3, it is quite tragic for those people, their loved ones in the community, and it just highlights how dangerous this the water is. You know, if you can at all get away from it, please do so. And if you're driving and you get to a flooded roadway, please don't try and go through. Turn around and find another route.
All right, now let's shift a little bit further south because, places along the coast have seen some pretty huge falls over the last 24 hours, 100, 150 millimetres. For this part of the world, it's not usual. What effect are we seeing on the ground?
Localised flash flooding. We are performing some flood rescues in the southern part of the state, the southeastern part of the state. Again, just people getting surprised with what's happened on the roadways as they go to work, and it's still dark. Hopefully once we get to daylight and people can see the water on the road, that'll cease. It's really dangerous out there. People should be really careful if they're travelling. If you don't need to travel, please probably put it on the back burner for a couple of days. If you are travelling to work, take your time, be careful. You want to get there. And again, if you reach a roadway that's got water over it, please do not enter that water.
Is there an area of most concern for you today, either in the north or the south?
Probably the entire area from Grafton down to to the Central Coast. That's probably our biggest concern. But as I said, as that rain hits those catchment areas to the west of the catchments and as the Hawkesbury and Nepean, we'll also probably end up with a fair bit of operational activity in those locations as well. So a specific hotspot, no, we probably don't have one. Just a huge swathe of New South Wales that we're keeping an eye on and operating at a high tempo.
It's an incredibly large area, and I know the thousands of people you've got on the ground, it sounds like a lot of people, but they have to be spread out thinly. Hey, so the rain's going to finish hopefully later on today for the most part. What do you see happening over the next few days?
Yeah, so some of that rain that's fallen up in the hinterland and the catchment will obviously take a couple of days to get down and then discharge into the sea. So we're not going to see, and as soon as the rain finishes, we don't see the rivers drop. We see probably a 24 to 48 hour period where they start to fall. Of course, there's going to be a lot of water pooled in at locations. That will take a while to drain away. So we're going to see a lot of cleanups start to happen, and that'll be our focus. As that water starts to recede, it'll be moving the community to recovery and making sure people can get back on their feet, get to work, get kids back to school and so on. And there's going to be a long-term cleanup in a lot of these locations because we've had local roads underwater for a number of days, which does, who knows what damage to the pavement.